We are certainly enthusiastic today. It is a beautiful Monday, and we want to hear from you, 1-800-572-8255. Would you be in favor of Barbara Stanwyck being on a stamp? Jump in here and join. You know what she did one time? Let me tell you about this old girl. We're not talking about a dummy here. When she and Robert Taylor divorced, she made arrangements to get half his earnings for the rest of his life, and did. Yeah, a full-fledged partner. An exorbitant stud fee paid retroactively. That's what John Barrymore said it was. Let's talk to John, who is on the car phone. What do you say, John?
Good morning, Papa. How you doing?
I'm doing good, big boy. How you doing?
Great. Just a belated Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you, thank you.
One of my great treasures is the records that my father-in-law kept while he sold shoes for the same company in Athens for more than 50 years.
More than 50 years?
Yeah. He kept little books, and you could tell every day how much he sold and what the commission. He would, say for instance, there'd be an entry in another little book that he kept, Ludlow Porch, 11 Triple E, stock number 4114, and when that shoe came in that he had ordered for you, he would check it off and the date that it was delivered, and there's just stacks of them, and it's just a kind of a chronology of his career.
I hope you're taking steps to make sure that you can pass that down to his grandchildren.
Well, actually, his grandchildren know about it, and what I'm looking towards now is passing it down to his great-grandchildren.
Yeah, good. That's important.
But it's a great treasure.
That's important. Sure it is.
He's 86 years old, man. He's in a care center. He's had a couple of strokes, but it's interesting to look at that anybody would be that meticulous about his business. The man made a lot of money, and the reason that he did, I think, was because he took such great care of his customers. There's a great example for all salesmen in that.
Very few folks make money by accident. You ever made any money by accident?
No, not really.
Usually it's the end of a plan.
Yep, that's right.
Very good. Well, hang on to that.
I'm going to do it.
Come see us.
I'll do it. Have a great day.
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you. Let's talk to Hobo Bill on the radio. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell you something. My dad passed away, and it's the reason I hadn't been calling you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I've been up at Rockmart.
I understand.
And just haven't run back and forth. I got something. You're talking about something useless. I got a double-beaded plum axe and no handle.
Don't he make a good paperweight, does it?
Boy, I'm telling you. That's about the only thing that it does.
That's awful. That's awful.
Listen.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
All right.
Whenever you get off this afternoon, give me a holler.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about something.
We'll touch you in.
I appreciate that.
Hang in there, Bill.
You do too, and thanks a lot, old buddy.
All right, talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rodney on the radio. Good morning, Rodney.
Good morning, Letty.
How you doing?
I just fine. I got a Beyond Stupid for you, as well as time I almost got expelled from high school.
Okay.
Beyond Stupid was during the ice storm of '73. You remember that?
Yes.
Stayed frozen for about a week or so.
Yeah.
And finally that Saturday, we had some trees down, cut up, and we were removing the trees. That Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock, I walked outside, hit the first step of the brick steps, little patch of ice, went flying down 8 steps.
Ooh.
Hit the bottom.
Ooh.
Crawled back in the house. Recovered for hours and hours, ate lunch.
Body all aching and racked with pain.
That's right. And then about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, went back out to finish the job. Hit that same first step.
Oh, that is funny, right?
There was.
And no serious injuries either time?
No, just a little painful back for a while.
Beyond stupid, yeah.
About the time in high school, freshman in high school, big high school, and we developed this technique to pass the long hours in high school as a freshman now, 9th grade, of playing chess on little 3x5 note cards. We drop a little board and play the game.
Uh-huh.
And during the assembly, the Christmas assembly, the last hour, right before Christmas 2-week Christmas holidays, we're up in the stands, and a bunch of us were playing chess on the note cards, as well as there were about 6 or 7 little plastic boards with plastic men on them, you know, those things floating around too. Well, I'm a little bit nearsighted, so I was turned off to the side a little bit and looking down and was not paying attention to the Christmas assembly. And the principal walked up off the floor, walked up in the stands, and jerked me and my buddy out during the Christmas.
Pretty bad. That'd be grounds for a lawsuit today.
Well, you know, we weren't doing any drugs. We didn't have any liquor on us. We didn't have any knives or guns. And he marched us into the office. Remember, this is the last day before the Christmas holiday.
Right.
We stood there and waited out the whole Christmas assembly. He came in and said, "Boys, I want y'all to think about what your punishment ought to be over the break." So, you know, I had 2 great weeks of Christmas vacation.
What was your punishment? Quickly.
Huh? He never did call us back in his office. That was it. That was just his little punishment.
A gift from God, a principal with Alzheimer's. You take care of yourself. I got to go.
No, I think that was the punishment. Bye, Letty.
Hang in there. More conversation right after these important words.
Excitement. But, of course, you know my pride and joy is
That's
my
right.
new granddaughter.
Absolutely.
I mean, after all. But I was such an excited grandmother. You know, I'd never been one before.
I know it. You have to kind of ease into that.
Yes. Now, of course, Barbara String, she should be on a stamp. I mean, if Elvis can, why shouldn't she?
That's right. The young Barbara Stanwyck or the old Barbara Stanwyck?
Oh, I like the old Barbara Stanwyck and the young Barbara Stanwyck, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I go with either one of them.
So you don't care if Victoria Barkley or Stella Dallas, you don't care?
Well, I think it should be Stella Dallas.
Okay.
I'll go along with that.
Okay.
Okay, beyond stupid.
If that's for me, I'm not here.
I'm not going to answer
Go
yet.
ahead.
Beyond stupid,
Yeah.
I was trying to get in another car, Letty.
Yeah.
And a man was standing right there while I was trying to get in that car. And Madam Zero is the most thoughtful person in the world. She sent me a card congratulating me on my grandbaby. I want you to know, and her with that hand like they are.
She's a sweet, dear lady. I got to run. You
Love you, Letty.
Go answer the phone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Someday they're going to fire her about that phone. 1-800-572...
Thank you. You too. Oh, and happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you.
I neglected to say that on Friday.
I ain't your daddy.
Well, I know. And I don't even say it to my husband, because he ain't my daddy either.
Did you send your... Oh, that's a great mistake. I don't know about for a woman, but for a man, when the wife says, "Did you get me a Mother's Day present?" and you say, "You ain't my mama," you could accomplish the same thing by slapping her with a soapy dish rag. Don't.
No, honest to God, I don't want anything from Steve on Mother's Day.
Okay.
My father trained me to believe that Mother's Day and Father's Day was a racket thought up by the card companies and the floral industry.
Uh-huh.
And so we always sent him flowers and cards on Father's Day. He hates it, but we do it anyway.
Maybe he's trying to forget he's a daddy.
Well, good luck.
Well, what's going on in your life?
Okay. Well, for one thing, you know, the most embarrassing moment I've already told you about, and I'm not going to reiterate that.
No, let's don't go over that again.
However, I have had many embarrassing moments in my life. I know that's hard to believe.
No, I believe that, Tay.
And one of them has to do with when my dad had just retired, freshly retired from the military, and he came to Atlanta on business, and it was the first time I'd seen him in maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They were overseas. So, I mean, I was still referring to him, and I still do, as General Shelton. At any rate, he was staying at the Colony Square Hotel. I didn't know it, but Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter were there at the same time for some sort of conference. So my dad told me it was on his room was on a certain floor, and I take the elevator up. I've got a diaper bag, a baby, and a toddler. I'm going up the elevator, and I get off on this floor, and there's all these Secret Service people. And I thought, well, I don't know what he's here for, but obviously he's behind there. And so I start charging down the hall, and they stop me. I know I looked dangerous. And,
yeah, they're menacing with the diaper bag.
You never know what's in that bottle. So the guy asked me who I was looking for, and I said General Shelton. Well, you know, if there are 2 presidents around and there's some sort of conference, there may be some generals around.
Yeah, you can count on it.
So they start looking on their list, you know, for General Shelton. And they couldn't find him anywhere. And I said, but I know he's on this floor. He gave me this room number, and I haven't seen him in 3 years. And I start going into this big, long sob story. And I was there for about 5 minutes, trying to find my dad, and they insisted that he wasn't there. So I went back down to the front desk, and my father had given me the wrong room number.
Wonderful.
And I did not know until later that those Secret Service people were there for the president, the former president.
The thing about Secret Service people that always unnerves me is they continue to talk into their index finger. They've got little microphones strapped to their index finger, and it looks like Art Linkletter gone berserk.
Well, the funny thing is that I didn't think anything of the fact that there might be Secret Service people around my father. In fact, I think he ought to have Secret Service protection.
Yeah, that was a normal thing. Because where you find the presidents, you're going to find generals thicker than fleas on a beagle, always.
And I didn't know that. I had no idea the presidents were there. I just assumed that all of that was for my dad. See, oh golly, I was really embarrassed. I know that probably wouldn't embarrass most people, but it did me.
I think it was probably embarrassed everybody because it's pretty stupid.
Well, yeah, it was pretty. Well, it was kind of a haughty thing for me to think that all of that would be there for my father.
Well, but you see, you had grown up around a certain amount of ritualistic respect for your father. Yeah.
Right.
And that's, I think it's a natural thing.
Well, I told you about the time the driver came to the house to get my dad, and I didn't have a ride to work, and I got in the car and said, take me to the telephone company.
And what'd your father say?
The guy took me to the telephone company first, and then went back and got my dad, and then I got a phone call from him at work
You
a
betcha.
little bit later.
Yeah, you betcha. I got to run.
All right.
Be sweet. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Join us. Our Fun Seekers, Ludlow Porch, inviting you to enjoy an autumn tour of Central Europe, October the 7th through the 20th. Yes, sir. Join my wife, Diane, and me for... One 800-572-8255 as we talk to Ann in LaGrange, Georgia. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning, Ludlow. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, my friend.
Guess what?
What?
Somebody, for Christmas, I got 2 ceramic ducks, and they were so pretty, I wanted everybody to enjoy.
These are 2 ceramic ducks.
2 ceramic ducks.
Okay.
And so I sit them outside in my front yard on a hill right next to my water hydrant.
Uh-huh.
And they have been sitting out there ever since Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And over the weekend, sometime, somebody stole one of them.
I'm shocked.
I mean, just one. They both of them are beautiful. Peter and Mary. They stole Peter. And Mary's out there all alone. She got nobody to watch over her. And I wish they would return.
You named your ceramic ducks?
Yep, Peter and Mary.
Well, I hope that the thief is listening and will realize that Mary's all alone.
Yes, she is.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want her to get her another mate because she's been with Peter ever since Christmas.
Well, certainly not. I mean, you just don't have ceramic ducks shacking up with other ceramic ducks.
That's right.
That's right.
That was stupid for him to take one. I would have, been able to deal with it more better if they had took both of them.
Well, maybe they'll come back and steal the other one.
Maybe they'll come back and bring Peter back.
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
Take care of yourself, Ann.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Whew. Let's talk to Tom on the radio. What do you say, Tom?
Morning, Ludlow.
How are you, old friend?
I'm doing fine. How
Good.
you doing?
Doing great.
This is Turbo Tom from Stone Mountain.
All right.
I was just driving down Jimmy Carter, and I saw a little marquee there. It said WGUN 1010. I tuned in, and there you were.
There we are.
I didn't know you had changed.
Well, we're on the network. There's been a lot of changes since we talked, Tom.
I haven't listened for a while, I guess.
Well, welcome home.
One of the really craziest things I ever did, the stupidest thing I ever did, we had moved into a brand new subdivision. Didn't really know the neighbors at all. Back then, I was changing my own oil, a car. I was out there one day, and I had just drained it all out, and I was back up on top putting oil in. Neighbor come walking down the hill and just jokingly said, did you put your oil pan cap back in? And it hit me right then.
Yeah.
I had not put that sucker in. I have 5 quarts of oil in my driveway. brand new oil.
Mm.
And that was the stupidest thing I think I've ever done.
I did the same thing one time with antifreeze. Put an antifreeze in my car years ago. Did not close the radiator plug. Right through.
One of the most worthless things I ever had.
Yeah.
You ever see one of these little golf ball things that you you engrave your own initials in them?
Yeah.
That was the most worthless thing I ever had.
You're not a golfer?
Well, no, the typeset on that thing was made out of plastic, and it was softer than the golf ball. I ended up putting dimples from the golf ball onto the engraver instead of engraving the golf ball.
Is that something you ordered off of television?
Yeah, I got a television or some dollar sale or something.
That's funny.
It was worthless.
A friend of mine, my Cajun friend Boo Boo, as a matter of fact, ordered a bunch of these flatware, and it was guaranteed forever. And all you had to do was just send it back to them, and they'd replace it. But the problem was that the shipping and handling that they had charged was more than the whole thing costed.
There's a lot of that going on.
Do you ever wonder when you see them advertising a little old bitty iron that you take with you when you travel? Mm-hmm. You think people really buy those? I've
got one, Ludlow. I'm a traveling salesman. I've got one that came with the hairdryer and the iron together. And that iron has not been out of the case, period.
Yeah, you don't use it.
No.
Of course not.
And the hairdryer is just a backup. That iron is worthless, probably.
It's a little old bitty iron. If you got a little old bitty shirt, you won't press it.
I know where the dry cleaners is. I know how to get to the laundry.
Yeah, if you travel, you learn all the tricks. If you're traveling salesman very long or on the road at all, you know how to do your best to either keep it from being wrinkled, or what to do when it gets wrinkled, or where to go when it gets wrinkled.
That's true.
All right. I'm glad you found us again, my man.
Good talking to you.
Take care of yourself. Right. Bye-bye. Our number is 1-800-572-8255. Hey, we got a lot of things in front of the board today, but what I want to hear more from you about was about the time you were almost expelled from high school, because there are some capers being pulled out there by high school students, and always have been. And we would like to know about that time that you got caught. You know the time I'm talking about. You just immediately got a flash. Everybody out there did. 1-800-572-8255. And everybody gets to go to sleep early tonight. The Braves have the day off tonight, so we're not going to have to stay up and sweat the Braves out. But I'd be remiss in my obligation as a baseball fan. I say, how about that crowd? They are best team in baseball right this minute. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. 1-800-572-8255. 1-800-572-TALK. Would you be in favor of Barbara Stanwyck being on a stamp? There's been no groundswell for Barbara Stanwyck. I may switch to somebody. Rhonda Fleming, perhaps. And how much time do you spend thinking about who should be on a stamp? The most useless thing you've ever owned, and beyond stupid. We'll talk about all of that and a lot more. Give us a call, 1-800-572-8255. We'd like to hear from you. That is the Ballad of Ross Perot, or the Third Man theme. Worked in the garden this weekend. The tomatoes, I'm not going to say this too loud, but the tomatoes need more warm nights. I really hate warm nights. We were down in the 50s in the mountains last night. So wonderful. And everybody I know has got either golf ball-sized tomatoes or marble-sized tomatoes. Mine little old bitty tomatoes, but that's all right. I will not be first, but the quality will be there. We're going to have, before the week is over, and I don't know exactly which date, we've booked a man who is probably one of the foremost chefs in the world, and he's going to be with us. And he is a sandwich chef, and he'll be with us one day this week, talking to you about sandwiches and how to make them properly and that sort of thing. So we'll be doing that later on in the week. And I thought to celebrate his arrival and the arrival of, we've already talked to folks who have had their tomatoes, the hothouse tomatoes, but homegrown nonetheless. And I thought that we might play the tomato anthem now. Take it.
There ain't nothing in the world that I like better than bacon and lettuce and homegrown tomatoes. Up in the morning, out in the garden, get you a ripe one, don't get a hard one. Plant 'em in the spring, eat 'em in the summer. All winter without 'em's a culinary bummer. I forget all about the sweating and digging every time I go out and pick me a big one. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Go out to eat, and that's for sure, but it's nothing a homegrown tomato won't cure. Put 'em in a salad, put 'em in a stew. You can make your very own tomato juice. You can eat 'em with eggs, you can eat 'em with gravy. Eat 'em with beans, pinto or navy. Put 'em on the side, put 'em in the middle. Put a homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Now if I was to change this life I lead, well, I'd be Johnny Tomato Seed, 'cause I know what this country needs. It's homegrown tomatoes in every yard you see. When I die, don't bury me in a box in a cemetery. Out in the garden, be much better, and I could be pushing up homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
The best is yet to come. The tomatoes are on their way, and they will be here. They will be here early part of July. No matter what, always seems to be that way. I did something this year, been meaning to do for years. All my gardening friends been telling me that the best way to do tomatoes is to lay them down and plant them on their side, and that's fine. But instead of having that great 6, 8, 10-inch foliage sticking out of the ground, you got about 2 inches sticking out. And when you pack that dirt around it, it's tough to do. It's hard to make yourself do it. And when you pack that dirt around it, you think, this ain't never going to make it. And then if you wait a few minutes before you water it, it lays down on the ground. I mean, it crosses its little arms over its chest, and it looks dead. But boy, when it starts growing, it really jumps. People have been trying to get me to do that for years. A buddy of mine who I respect as a farmer finally talked me into it. So I planted all of them laying down this year. And they've done very, very well. They've done very well. I still ain't got no tomatoes. I'll let you know later on how well they've done, but done very well. We hadn't had the hot weather for them. And if it comes to swapping tomatoes for cool weather, I'll take the cool weather every time. Got a lot going on this week, and we hope you stay with us all week long. We're going to be kicking a number of things around. We'll have some surprise drop-in guests. And speaking of that, you can be a surprise drop-in guest. Our headquarters now, the network headquarters, are in Suwannee, Georgia, just north of Atlanta on Highway 85. We're at the Atlanta Falcons training complex, and we're in the hotel there, the Falcon Inn. And we're looking right out into the beautiful restaurant area. So when you're up here around breakfast time, While you're up here around lunchtime, you stop by the Falcon Inn and have you something other good to eat, and I'll be here. And I'll stare at you the whole time you're eating, so don't throw your food. You could be in big trouble. Stay with us more after this.
Mid-mornings are fun with Ludlow Porch, 9 to noon on the Big Gun WGUN.
Griffin, checks in the mail.
I was driving down the road, and I stopped at a red light down not too far from my house, and I had a cemetery. And I looked over to my right, and I saw a funeral going on. There was a tent there. Everybody at the tent was standing up, and they were all standing looking over in the corner. And about 25 feet away from the tent was the casket. And there were 4 guys standing around the casket. They put the casket down on the ground. And over in the ditch, about 13, 14 feet away from the road, there were 2 men in suits, fist fight.
Well, business.
They were rolling on the floor, punching each other.
And they
put the coffin down. These are 2 pallbearers.
2 pallbearers who've somehow gotten an argument.
I can just picture shoving back and forth over the casket.
Wouldn't you like to know the end of that story?
Absolutely. I waited as long as I could. Cars are honking at me. I wasn't going to move.
I'd like to know the beginning of that story. Great story.
Over money or something.
Great story, Bozo.
I'm going to come on down there.
All right, come on. We'll see when you get here.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bozo Roberts. Let's talk to Otis in Brunswick. Hello, Otis.
Hello, Lela.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I got a good one for you.
All right.
One day, me and my ex-wife was in a restaurant eating lunch with this couple that we had met. And we got sat there talking, and my wife says, she was telling this here couple, she says, but she worked at a certain place down here in where she lived at, and she said, well, do you know another lady? And she called her name, and she said, yeah. She said, I know that battle axe. She said, she sure is a motor mouth. She said, she just runs people down and cuts people all to pieces and everything else. And he says, yeah, he said, that sounds like my mother, all right.
Ooh,
beyond stupid.
Hey, you're talking about going down in your shoes, little, but I'm going to tell you, she like to went down in her shoes, buddy.
It's a wonder she didn't have a heart attack.
Huh? It's lucky.
It is a wonder.
You didn't ever hear nothing out of the rest of the night, though.
No, you know, that's really hoof and mouth disease. And
yeah, that is.
We've all done that one degree or another, but
I'm sure we have. I think we all made some vows up. Wrong.
Yeah, but you always hope if you're talking about somebody's cousin, not their mama.
Right,
yeah.
That's true. We don't never know who we're talking about when we talk, do we?
That's the truth.
So the best thing to do is keep our mouth shut when we're talking about people.
choose your words carefully.
You better believe it. I just want to pass it on down to you, buddy.
Glad you called, my friend.
And you have a nice day.
All right, stay in touch with us. We're going to have a nice day. It's a Monday, and we hope you're going to have a nice day, too. We'd like to hear from you. 1-800-572-8255. We're going to be right back and take some more telephone calls after these important words. Great day. We're going to talk to Julian in Albany, Georgia. Julian, how you doing?
Hello, Ludlow.
Hey, buddy, how you doing, Julian?
Doing all right.
Doing good.
Beyond stupid.
Yeah.
My dear wife had always wanted me to be handy around the kitchen like, quote, other men.
Uh-huh.
I'm not that handy at it. She called me one day, wanted me to make the tea, and first thing I told her, I don't know how.
Uh-huh.
So she told me to get the little teapot and fill it up with water and bring it to a boil and put the tea bags in there and let the springs hang over and put the lid on it and turn it off and let it steep. Well, she didn't tell me the brand of tea she bought this time had an outer wrapper on it in addition to the little onion skin wrapper.
Ah.
So when I got this bags out, it only had about a half-inch little string on there. And I said, well, that's not long enough to let it hang over. So I spent about 10 minutes trying to tie a little piece of thread around each one.
Trying to do your job.
But I put it in there just like she said, but I left that outer wrapper on it.
Uh-huh.
Because she didn't tell me to take it off.
And what happened?
Well, the tea didn't color. And I was working evening shift, and she was working day shift. So when she got home, she called me at work and let me know how stupid I was because I couldn't make tea, and I told her I followed instructions verbatim.
Plus, that's woman's work anyway.
But could I tell you a quick one on somebody else being stupid?
Yeah.
My son-in-law, he's a career Army officer, and he had just made captain. And they had a little fatigue outfit made for my grandson, and they had the little captain bars embroidered on them.
Uh-huh.
And one of his superior lady officers told him he would have to take that off because he was impersonating an officer. And I don't think too many career people would think a 3 or 4-year-old's really impersonating an Army officer.
And who told him that?
Some lieutenant colonel that was his superior in his outfit.
Boy, you talking about beyond stupid.
Yeah, so that is beyond stupid.
Beyond stupid. Julian, right. I'm glad you called, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Hang in there. All right, 1-800-572-8255, and I believe Mary Lou is next. Hello, Mary Lou.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing just terrific. Couldn't be any better on a beautiful day like today.
Good.
Yeah. Talk about prized possessions. My grandfather worked in his father's bank down in St. Augustine when he was a young man.
Uh-huh.
And with his first paycheck, he bought a sterling silver soup tureen that he gave to his mother, which I have.
Oh, that's great.
Which I just absolutely adore. The only thing I don't like about it is, of course, you have to polish it.
Oh, yeah. And how old is it now, Mary Lou?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. My mother was born back in 1899, so it has to be like the late 1800s. I mean, it's almost 100 years old.
What a treasure.
Yeah, it really is.
Great.
Absolutely adore it and everything. But the woman who called a few minutes ago said she gets cracked up every time she hears the chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot what I was going to say. It's stupid. There's something that, oh, I know what it was.
What?
Talking about my mother, too. When she passed away a number of years ago, my sister and brother and I, of course, were in Kentucky for the funeral. And everybody would come up and they would say to one of us, oh, we're so sorry you lost your mother. Well, my sister, I could see these little smirks on her face. And she said afterwards, she said, I just almost laughed in somebody's face when they'd say, I'm so sorry you lost your mother. She said, wanted to say so badly to them, my mother's not lost.
Yeah,
I know exactly where she is.
We will do anything to keep from saying died or dead or death.
Yeah. Mother died. I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah.
We haven't lost her.
Oh, the one that knocks me out is expired.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like your mama was a parking meter or something.
Let's hope not. And then beyond stupid.
Yeah.
I was making my wonderful triple fudge brownies on Saturday, and the egg almost rolled off the sink, the counter into the sink, and I'm trying to grab it, and I had the beaters going, mixing up the icing, and the spatula got caught in the blade, between the blades, and before I knew it, my finger was in between the blades.
Oh.
Talk about stupid. Oh.
Well, how bad was it?
Well, yeah, surprisingly enough, it never broke the skin. It's not black and blue. And my first thought was, can I hold a golf club the next day?
You're very lucky. You're very lucky.
Yes, I was. Very lucky. But how stupid to do something like that.
Well, we've all done that. That's what happened to old Lefty, you know.
And Peg Leg, too.
That's right. That's right. You take care of yourself.
Okay. Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Columbus, Georgia, and talk to Pete Rose. Hello, Pete.
Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, cousin.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You had a good Father's Day, I trust.
I really did, yeah.
I had a great one. I had one of my best presents, and I want to tell you about it.
All right.
I went down to the local bookstore, and they didn't have your book.
Good.
And so I put, well, anyway, so I put in an order thing, and they told me they was going to, you know, of course they let me know when they come in, and obviously they did, and it came in the mail, and my son went down there and bought your book.
Oh, great.
And I tell you, I spent all day yesterday laughing at that thing.
Which one was it, the new one?
Yeah, and I believe Beyond Stupid has got to be Skip. He's close. If that book's anything close to like he is, and of course he's one of my favorite columnists too. But that was a great book. I just want to tell you about it, how much I really loved it, and look forward to your next one. That's coming out in the fall.
It'll be here by and by.
All righty. Listen, and then them Red Sticks, you know, them Braves doing great, but them Columbus Red Sticks done it, didn't they?
All right. What did they do?
They won first place in the first half, and they sent 6 of their players to the All-Star game.
I love it. I love it. That's great.
Unfortunately, Rose Jr. didn't make it, but he'll make it next time,
Next
maybe.
year for sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, you have a good week, and we look forward to listening to you all week. We missed you a couple of days last week because we played a couple in the golf tournament down here, the Southeastern, and enjoyed that. But we'll be checking with you all week.
All right. Look forward to it, buddy.
All righty.
You take care of yourself.
Bye, Letty.
Pete Rose from Columbus, Georgia. 1-800-572-8255. It is Monday. Great day, and we want to hear from you. What's the most useless thing you ever had? Think about it and call me. 1-800-572-8255. Let's talk to Ron. Ron, good morning. Ron?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
I think it's right. Those beeps get that a little bit late.
All right, well?
You're talking about who you'd like to see on a stamp?
Yeah.
How about Webster? But I don't know if I want the old Webster or the young Webster.
Yeah. Yeah, I've spent some nights thinking about that.
Yeah. Maybe Ren 1010.
Well, would you want the young Ren 1010 or the old Ren 1010?
Well, the puppy's nice.
Puppy's nice, yeah.
Talking about the most stupid thing you've done, or I don't know if this was the most stupid or the most embarrassing. I'm not sure which
Sometimes
one.
they're the same thing, Ron.
This is true. Back about 1973, 74, you know, when we had a gasoline crunch,
Yeah.
I purchased a small Honda motorcycle so I could ride back and forth to work.
Uh-huh.
Save burning that big 8-cylinder.
Big bucks. Big bucks.
Yeah. And so I left for work one day, and when I got to work, which I was teaching school at the time, I realized I had left my false teeth at home. So I had to call my wife and have her drive that big 8-cylinder all the way back up there just to bring my false teeth.
Oh.
Stupid.
Beyond stupid. But you already knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the man said a while ago, stupid can be embarrassing.
I know that's right.
But I'm glad you called. Stay in touch with us.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Griffin, Georgia, and talk to Trey on the radio. Hi, Trey.
Good morning, big guy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy.
I'm glad to hear that. I got to tell you about how I almost got kicked out of school.
Tell me.
Well, I went to the old Fulton High School when it was up on Washington Street.
Yeah.
And I failed during the middle of the year. They used to give out deficiency slips.
I remember well. Not that I ever got any, but I remember the other children.
Well, I got one. There's no way that I could bring that home to my mother and daddy to sign it.
A death sentence.
There's no way. So I had this real good friend of mine to sign it. And I turned it back in. The teacher didn't say anything. She thought that was just wonderful, you know. So then report cards came out. And my mother went to PTA. She thought that's like going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
She had to go to PTA. So I brought my report card home, and I had failed history. So she went to the teacher, and she said, I do not understand how my son failed history, and he didn't get a deficiency slip. The teacher said, he did get a deficiency slip. Oh, he did?
And
well, I
you-
didn't see it.
Yeah, and you signed it.
So I went in there, the teacher went in and found it, said, I never saw it. They took me to the principal. And it so happened that the principal, Mr. White, happened to teach both my mother and father in high school way back. This happened in 1951. And he looked at me and he said, boy, you know, I taught your mother and I taught your father, and they would never do anything like this. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What should I do to you? You know, I said, I really don't know. He said, I'm going to give you 2 weeks in detention hall. And at that time, there were streetcars running down. And by having to stay an hour after school, I missed the streetcar. So I had a summer ride back out to Lakewood Heights. But I got close to getting my little self kicked out of high school.
Yeah, that could have been the death penalty.
It was, and I have never told who the person was that signed my deficiency slip. me and him both go down, and Bill said, well, we pulled that one over, but Fred got caught.
I like loyalty.
It's it.
Honor among teenagers is a wonderful thing.
It is.
You take care of yourself.
And I appreciate your good talking to you.
All right, buddy. Enjoy it.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Let's talk to Lela in Rome, Georgia. Hello there.
Hey there. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
And I want to tell you something stupid happened to my husband and I one time.
Okay.
We were in town, and this lady that was parked near us we was getting in the car to leave, you know. And,
yeah.
And she was going to get in her car and leave, and so she couldn't get in the car, and she asked my husband, she said, would he try to make a way to let her in her car, you know.
He was standing in her way?
No, she wanted him to let her to open the car for her.
Oh, okay.
Get the door open.
Yeah, I got you.
And so he taken the handle off the door and everything to let her get in the car, and after he did that, it wasn't even her car.
Oh, the car was locked?
Yeah, the car was locked.
And your husband broke into the wrong car?
Yeah, and he broke in the wrong car trying to help that lady.
That's
beyond stupid.
That is funny.
Yeah, that was funny. But it's been nice talking.
I'm glad you called, Lela. Take care.
I listen to you every day.
We love it.
Yeah, you have a good program. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Our number is 1-800-572-8255. How do you explain to somebody who walks up in the parking lot and you've taken the door handle off of their car, or worse, and broken into their car under the close supervision of a woman with the IQ of a kumquat who stood there and got you to do this, and it wasn't even her car. And what's more important, it wasn't your car. Funny. It is beyond stupid. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. If you have trouble with those numbers, try 1-800-572-TALK. No. What a great day. What a great day. Picking at Denny, having a big time. We're going to talk to the Commish now on the radio. Hello, Commish. Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, my friend?
All right.
Good.
I want to tell you a little bit about the reason I was almost expelled, but wasn't quite, should have been.
We all should have been.
Yeah, all right. I won't tell you about the ones that I was.
Okay.
Because they might be a little... Anyway, I was in a wood shop one day. I think they call that industrial arts now.
Uh-huh.
And came up with a creative idea. There'd been an automobile accident near the school that morning, and I thought, well, this would be a great opportunity to take off on that automobile accident. I got a little pasteboard box. It was about 2 inches deep, 2 inches wide, and 6 inches long, and cut a hole in the bottom where I could stick my middle finger up through it, put a little cotton around it, and we got some red paint and some blue ink and stick that finger up. And put the top back on. You could carry it around and lift the top and show people what you found at the wreck. Well, our wood shop coach...
What an awful young man you were.
No. Our teacher, of course, was our coach, our football coach, and he stuttered quite a bit. So I decided I'd show it to Coach Greer, and walked up and said, Coach, look what I found at the wreck today. And I took the top off, and he was looking at it, and I poked it with my pencil. And when I did, it jumped up in the air, and he said, get out of here, boy, you know. But he laughed. He liked it. He enjoyed it very much. He thought it'd be a great idea if I took it to our nurse at school and tell her that I'd found it. Maybe we could take it to the hospital and they could throw it back on this person. She was also our assistant principal, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
But I took it up and showed it to her, and she was looking at it with disbelief, and she even reached down and touched it with a finger. And when she did, of course, it had the same reaction.
Yeah.
And when she got off that little cot that was in the...
well, she flat-footed up on that cot.
When when she got off of that, she decided it was time for me to go see our principal. And that was the day I was almost expelled.
Well, she's pretty narrow-minded, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She didn't enjoy a good find, you know, on the way to school.
You know, most nurses got a good sense of humor. Have to.
They have to. But I guess being assistant principal, that took that away from me.
Yeah, I guess.
But I thought I'd call you and tell you about that. That was a long time ago. And I know from time to time you talk about kids don't use their imagination. That just proves back then we did.
That's right. That's right.
Put it to good use.
Creative.
Had a good time with it.
Take care of yourself.
You come see us sometime down at the home of the 5th Runway.
You'll be easy to find, won't you?
Yeah, just follow the trail. We'll be
follow the airplanes. I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you.
Take care of yourself. We're going to talk to Marie in Atlanta. Hello, Marie.
Hey, Ludlow.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. I just wanted to tell about the time, sort of like this fellow prior to me, when I thought I was going to be expelled from high school.
Tell me.
I went to a, quote, private Catholic girls' school, and you know the nuns can put the absolute fear of God in you.
You know what I always say?
It was a very small school. I had the largest graduating class. I had 38 and 9. The first graduating class, I think, had 9.
Oh, yeah.
Second class graduating class had maybe 14. And I was the third graduating class, and we had 38. We were the big boys.
Yeah.
And the nuns lived in the cloister upstate. Well, I was, and this was what really I thought for sure was going to get me expelled, because I was a class officer. And we decided, 3 of my friends and I, that we were going to, you know, remember the movie Trouble with Angels, when they were going to take the tourists to the cloister? We sneaked in, I guess,
yeah,
to the cloister, to the nuns' room, just to see.
Like a barracks, the nuns' barracks.
Just the way that they lived. Where we got caught. I just knew. My mother and daddy had never been called about me from school, except a couple of times for talking too much. But other than that, I was always a good girl. I'm going to tell you right now, Ludlow, I thought for sure that was it. We were all gone, and we were going to hell in a handbasket.
I bet you the nuns went crazy, didn't they? Did a group of them catch you or just one?
3 of them caught.
Oh.
And there weren't but 7 of them at the school. So it was all, 1.5 times anyway.
One of them turned to the other and said, "Get a rope."
Yeah. I thought for sure. I mean, I had never been as scared in my entire life.
What happened?
They just called our parents and we got reprimanded. But, I mean, the way they talked to us, I just knew. That was it. That was it.
You thought it was over? What did they say?
They told me, and you are your class leader, and you have been your class leader for 2 years. I said, sister, I am so sorry, sister. You know, the way you always said, sister, sister, sister.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, sister, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't, I said, I guess we wanted to see if there might be something that we could do, this and that, talk about a bunch of bull. If there was something maybe we could do to make your life a little more comfortable. And...
Did she bought that?
No. Oh, no. She looked at us and she said, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, now they say get a rope.
Yeah. Well, I really thought for sure that was going to be the end of my life. And my daddy and my mother, particularly my daddy, we're all Irish Catholics, and I want to tell you what, my daddy wouldn't stand for anything. You didn't come home and tell what happened to you at school, because sister was always right. You were always wrong. And so you just never came home and told it because you got double trouble. And
so
I thought I was in triple trouble that day. And there was no doubt about it. I mean, I was petrified. I don't think I have ever been as frightened in my life. I mean, I could barely talk. And I kept thinking, how are we going to get ourselves out of this? How are we going to get out of this? Because we had gone into the sacred ground.
So you just tried lying, say, and you really looked her in the eye, a grown woman, and
I did.
And said, we're going to try to see what we can do to make your life easier.
I sure did. And yeah, that's when they still wore the habits.
Yeah.
Because this was like in 1962, 63. And, you know, I thought for sure, hey, this is going to get us out of this thing. And she isn't going to even think about it. It's kind of like on your tape, the one about the New York thing.
Yeah.
The taxi cab. I just laughed till a tear streamed down my face. And when I went to see Sister Act for the third time yesterday, I couldn't help but look at those Carmelite nuns and think, oh my God, that could be me.
Gotta go, Marie. Take care of yourself. You be sweet.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Listen, I have an invitation for you. I want you to listen up carefully now, because in autumn, Diane and I are going to Central Europe. Matter of fact, it's October the 7th to the 20th. I want you to come be with us. 2 fabulous weeks in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Not just a vacation, gang. 2 weeks, the vacation of a lifetime. We're going to tour cities like Vienna, Munich, Salisbury, Innsbruck. They refer to those as cities of inspiration. I don't know why they don't inspire me, but they are pretty and fun to see. We're going to be in Lucerne. We're going to enjoy the beauty of the Swiss Alps. And I'm going to tell you, gang, there's nothing much more beautiful. Absolutely the vacation of a lifetime. Only $2,999. And let me tell you what that includes. That's double. And that includes all transportation, excellent hotels, European breakfast and dinner every day. Out of sight, both of those, 2 big meals every day. And the tour is going to be fully escorted by a professional tour manager from Good Friends Tours. Going to have a big time and would like very much for you to go with us. Here's what you can do. You can call my friends at the at the Holiday Travel Service, and you can talk to them about this. They'll send you a free brochure telling you all about it. So you call them, Good Friend Tour Line, 1-800-826-2266, 1-800-826-2266. You tell them that you want to get that brochure and get all the details on the 2 fabulous weeks in Europe with Ludlow and Diane. Don't let this one get by you. This is going to be the trip of a lifetime. 1-800-826-2266. Call them right this minute.
An act of God is a hard act to follow, but we do it every day. On the heels of every major storm, fire, flood, Red Cross disaster relief is there. But right now, after a devastating year, 8,000 major disasters, we need your help. The Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund is gone. Our ability to help disaster victims is threatened, and spring floods are yet to come. The Red Cross depends on the voluntary contributions of the American people. Please help. Call 1-800-842-2200 and give as much as you can. That's 1-800-842-2200. Because the only way to follow an act of God is with an act of humanity.
This woman married a star, and one
Gigi Kip lives outside Browning, Montana, on the 630,000-acre Blackfeet Reservation.
And one day she looked down and saw her people and got very lonesome.
For the past 10 years, he's been traveling around the reservation, memorizing the elders' stories.
So he sent her back with their baby, saying,
See another Marie. This Marie's in Brunswick. Hello, Marie. How you doing?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. We were going to a football game out of time, a group of family members.
Yeah.
And my mother decided to drive and take her car.
Uh-huh.
And we got over there, and we were all getting out of the car. She handed my husband her pocketbook and said, we popped the trunk from the glove box.
Uh-huh.
He said, Charles, put this in the trunk for me. And so he got out and put the pocketbook in the trunk, and we got ready to walk off, and I said, the car's still running. And
guess where the car keys are?
Yeah, in the trunk of the car, in her pocketbook. So I've never heard of that before.
That's funny. I know of 2 cases where women have put their babies in the car seats, got them all buckled in, and then going around to get in the other side, lock the keys in the car.
Oh, my goodness.
And there they are with the little baby in the car, the motor running.
Oh, well, if we didn't have the time, we finally found some policemen. They didn't happen to have anything, but the school bus came in with the band, and we thought, well, we could get a coat hanger.
Well, any teenager can break into a car.
Yeah, our daughter was in the band.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, so we got it open, though.
You take care of yourself.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's talk to Dorothy on the radio. Good morning, Dorothy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Well, that's real good. I'm out. I teach Head Start, and I'm out of school, so this is my first opportunity to hear you folks.
Well, thank you.
And I really am enjoying it.
Where are you, Dorothy?
Smith, Alabama.
Okay. And
Yeah.
where is Smith, Alabama?
Okay, you have the Chattahoochee River. On one side is Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
Then you have Phoenix City, and then you get Smith.
I'm right with you.
Okay.
I'm right with you.
Well, listen, my most treasured possession, I believe, would have to be a painting that my brother-in-law did for me after my husband died.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from Wheeling, West Virginia, and that's the home of the Mill Pouch Tobacco Company.
All right.
Well, on the barns around in that area, back in 45, they were in the process of painting advertisements on barns.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mill Pouch has on a lot of the barns. But of course now, with the barns being torn down, all this is disappearing.
Right.
Well, my sister-in-law found 3 different places that had the paintings on their barns yet. So she took pictures of it, and she gave it to Dan, and he in turn painted me a picture, but he did it on a slate that had come from his sister's roof. And so the last time I was home for Christmas, why, here I carried this back in my suitcase, and packed around it. You know, it was in the center, and it was the most prized possession, and fortunately it got here just fine.
And it took you right back home, didn't it?
Yes. It's hanging in my kitchen, and I hope it hangs there a long time.
I do, too. I don't care how far away you roam, you never quite get the place you're from. Never quite get your roots all the way up.
That's right. And in 1965, whenever Lady Bird Johnson had the Highway Beautification Act,
mm-hmm.
It looked like this was going to go by the wayside, these barns with the particular paintings on it. So then there was a senator by the name of Jennings Randolph of West Virginia, and he helped to lobby for that not to happen. And so then Congress underwent a change of heart in 1974 and amended the law to exclude landmark signs on farm structures or natural surfaces.
Well, you see, what happens, we get the bureaucrats in office, and they think it's some of your business what a man paints on his barn or what kind of sign a man puts in his field. I've always quoted, Daniel Boone sitting on his front porch, and a guy walk up and say, "You've got to have tags for them dogs, Daniel." Daniel would have killed him and disposed of the body. I got to run, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Take care, too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Government's too big, gang. Let's do something about it. More after this.
You think of. I went to school at Cassville. It's a little bitty town.
Mm-hmm.
And Adairsville was a real an opponent of ours. We had the first yearbook. I think this was the second year we'd had a yearbook in our school. So we had to sell advertisements. Well, a fellow student who was a real salesman, and I decided to go sell ads. Well, Cassville is too little to sell ads, so we went to Adairsville. My daddy was the cashier of the bank in Adairsville.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go to school that day, this fellow that decided to sell ads.
You decided to devote the entire day to selling ads?
We decided that was more important, so we went to Adairsville. And I would go to all these businesses and say, stupidly, my daddy is cashier at the bank, and I'm here to sell an ad for the Cassville yearbook. I went all over Adairsville. I made a bunch of money. And when I got home that afternoon, or when Daddy got home, he said, I heard that you were in a dazzle today.
You said, nah.
Me, Daddy? Well, you know, today's a school day. He was so embarrassed. He couldn't decide if he was embarrassed or pleased that I had made that much money.
Or a combination.
Oh, isn't that something? Everything was just...
I got to run.
All right, you have a great week.
I'll talk to you.
All right, bye.
Call us soon. Bye-bye. Listen, won't you do this, gang? Won't you check this out? The allergy-free permanent electrostatic air filter. Talk to your doctor. Tell him about the allergy-free filter. See if he thinks it's good for what ails you. Listen, got an allergy. You don't have to put up with it. You can get some relief. Call, you get this filter, throw your old ineffective filter away, put this in your furnace. When it needs it, wash it out with a garden hose, shake it dry, put it right back in, and you're ready to roll. Allergy-free. The first thing you're going to notice, dust gone out of your house. Gone. Absolutely. No dust on the tables, no dust on the countertops. You know what I'm talking about. That means there's none getting in there to stir up your allergies. Measure your filter. Get your credit card ready. Call these nice folks. 1-800-324-4247. 1-800-324-4247. Allergy-free. Tell them you heard about it on this show, and you get a discount. This thing is $59.95, and could be one of the better investments you'll ever make. 1-800-324-4247.
If you're retired, here's a message for you. Had it with home and yard work? Are you tired of cooking and cleaning? Would you rather be spending more of your time doing the things you really enjoy? If you're saying yes, the Renaissance on Peachtree Retirement Community is for you. At the Renaissance, you can enjoy your own apartment, one or more meals a day in the Renaissance beautiful dining room, free transportation and maid service, and many interesting social opportunities. All of this and more for a single monthly rental fee. Our goal at the Renaissance is to make your retirement as carefree as possible. It costs less than you'd expect, and quite possibly less than it costs to stay in your own home. You owe it to yourself to check out a quality retirement lifestyle at the Renaissance. Call 841-6161. That's 841-6161, or come by for a visit today.
Talk to Frank on the radio. Good morning, Frank. How you doing?
Fine, Ludlow. How you doing? I'll tell you one thing. You're very right when you talk about Blue Ridge. This is the nicest place in the world.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I live over 4 mountains, and, you know, at night the stars come out. I'm so high up you can almost reach up and touch the stars.
It's wonderful.
And one more thing. I believe parole will drop out before election time.
Oh, why?
I'm retired, and I watch the news. I believe they'll dig something up on him, sir, and I believe he'll drop. I'm just expressing my opinion.
Okay, good. You mean they'll run him out of the race?
Well, I don't know where you would use the word run or not. I believe he'll get out before November.
Interesting.
And you keep pushing Blue Ridge, because this is the prettiest place in the world.
I love it. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Come see me.
You
Bye-bye.
take care of yourself. Here is Bloody Mary on the radio. Hello, young lady.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Old Bro and Young Bro. Young Bro surely look better. I just happened to think of the stamps when the man was talking about Bro.
Oh.
Young Bro and Old Bro. The Young Bro surely look better.
Yeah, the old parole looks a lot like Frank Perdue.
Sure does. Looks like he needs a yellow chicken in his hand, don't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We're talking about what now? I forgot.
Well, we've been talking. Frank Perdue now.
Yeah.
We've been talking about
stepped on a chicken. It sounded like
beyond stupid.
Yeah, they're beyond stupid and useless things. Well, my repertoire beyond stupid. I was riding along Moreland Avenue in the Moreland Shopping Center one day, and I saw this little old lady about 60 years old. This has been about 25 years ago when 60 years was old. Chasing a dog, a big German Shepherd dog, hollering, "Buck, Buck, Buck." The dog just trotted, and she just trotted behind him. And it was kind of a warm day, and I thought, well, I ought to help her. So I pulled up beside her. I said, "You want to ride and see if you can catch him?" And so she jumps in my car, and we ride 2 or 3 blocks, and the dog keeps running. We keep following him. And finally, he turns the corner on, I think that's Moreland Way. I'm not sure the name of the street. But anyway, up through that way, and gets in the yard, and she gets out, and goes around these yards and everything. She's hollering, buck, buck, buck. And the dog won't pay a bit of attention to her. I'm ready to pick her and the dog all up and take them back home, you know.
A good Samaritan.
Yeah. And finally she comes panting and gets back in the car. And I said, wonder why he won't come. She said, well, I thought that was Buck. He's been gone for 6 months. But said, it sure does look like Buck.
Wasn't no Buck.
And what if I'd got that dog in there and he'd eat us both up?
Either that or the police that come got you because you stole somebody's...
Right.
That's funny. What did you say to her?
I didn't say anything. I just said, can I drop you somewhere? And I let her back out at
How
the
about
shopping center.
how about get out of my car?
Well, she was such a sweet little old lady. She wanted her dog, really.
That is funny. Poor old Buck.
The most useless thing I've ever had. I've thought about this ever since you brought it up. The only thing I can come up with is my second husband.
Well, not exactly a possession.
Well, it was while I had him. I couldn't give him much. I couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, sometimes they're sticky.
Yep.
I'm glad you called. Do it again.
I will.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. One and only Bloody Mary. 1-800-572-8255.
Day I moved out of the hood, I swear I'd never go back.
That's cartoon music if I've ever heard it. And if we're going to put Elmer Fudd on a stamp, who do we use? The young Elmer Fudd or the old Elmer Fudd? Now that might not be important to some people out there, but for you Elvis fans, it's really important. You folks with the post office, a chance for another scam here. 1-800-572-8255. I'm just kidding. We're talking about bunch of things beyond stupid. That is one. Another one is the most useless thing you ever owned. The most useless thing you ever owned. And the time that you were either expelled or almost expelled from high school or from grammar school. Does anybody ever get expelled from grammar school? And I've often questioned the wisdom of expelling somebody from high school. That's kind of like when you hear a politician who's temporarily suspended with pay. Golly, I don't have to go to work. Never quite understood that. Kicking a kid out of high school for 3 days. There to learn. Unless he's disruptive. Unless he's stopping other kids from learning. But I've even known them to throw kids out of school for 3 days who played hooky. Now let's ask ourselves, why did this child play hooky? He didn't want to go to school. So what did he do to punish him? You got it. Don't throw me in the briar patch. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. We are at the Falcons complex in Suwannee, Georgia. And I've answered this question 100 times. Yes, this is permanent, or as permanent as anything ever is in radio. We're going to be here every day, Monday through Friday. And we hope that when your travels take you north around 85 and you get close to exit 44, that you will come by here and say hello. You might want to get a great breakfast buffet and a great luncheon buffet. And you might want to come by and wave and say hello and have lunch here at the Falcons complex. Fun place to be. 1-800-572-8255. Ludlow and Denny fresh back from the wilds of California. And decided he did not want to apply for work out there, that he is happy here. Got some good things put together for you in the weeks to come. We're going to continue to keep having the guests on that you can listen and learn from, and they will all be there. Then you got a great idea here. Good song. Listen up. Eddie Arnold.
I'm the Little Rock of Arkansas, the Smoky Mountains, and across Pet Song. Louisiana cooking and a watermelon vine. I'm a tall Georgia pine, Georgia's on my mind. I'm the Tennessee Waltz and all night sings, the Florida sun, Silver Springs. I'm Huck and Tom and the old folks at home. I'm Clingman's Dome. I'm Corn Pone. Oh, I'm the stars that fell on Alabama. I'm coffee in the morning and an old smoked ham. A dusty Delta dawn, a Carolina moon, magnolias in bloom. I'm a thoroughbred grazing on Kentucky bluegrass. I'm pecan pie and tea of sassafras. I'm the Mississippi River as it rounds the bend. I'm gone with the wind. Y'all come back again. I'm hanging moss on a live oak tree, selling fried chicken and a cypress seed. I'm the birth of the blues in New Orleans, the land of dreams. I'm an antebellum home on the Natchez Trace, a rusty plow on the old home place. Azaleas are blooming on Mobile Bay. I'm the Virginia reel on Derby Day. Oh, yes, I'm Southern hospitality with that Nashville sound, a cotton patch, and an old coon hound. I'm Daniel Boone and Robert E. Lee, the Seminole, the Choctaw, and the Cherokee.
I am the South, Eddie Arnold. Great piece. 1-800-572-8255. Give us a call. We got 30 more minutes together. Let's do it,
I'm
gang.
everything good you ever dreamed about. Hush your mouth. I'm the South.
Come on, you guys, settle down. Oh, God, please don't let us be late. Please, God, let the car start. Let it start. Let it start. Thank God.
You already know how to pray. Now think about what you're praying for. There's power in prayer.
Come on. Only one more block to go. Here comes that killer hill. Keep up the pace, man. There's that dog again. I hope he's chained. Thank you, God. Finally finished. That's enough of a workout for me. Yeah. Catch you later.
You know how to tone up your body. How about shaping up your soul? There's power in prayer. A message from the Catholic Communication Campaign.
It is legendary. An arena circled by angry sea and shrouded in mystery. A playing field where mental and physical obstacles abound. One by one, they come to compete, to prove they belong. But victory will not be measured in captured squares or torn pieces.
All right, it's 11:33, gang. We're going to open this right up. We got 27 minutes together, and we will hear what is on your mind. So, political or otherwise, or just got something sticking in your craw, we'll talk to you. 1-800-572-8255. Let's talk to Big John, who is anchored in, standing by. What do you say, John?
Ludlow, old friend, it's great talking to you again.
Thank you, buddy. Good to have you.
You're as tough to get through now as you ever were.
Bless you.
Well, the most useless item I ever owned. I won't identify any brand names or where I got it. It was supposed to be one of these pressure washers. You know, you can put on the end of your hose, and there's a jar in it.
Oh, yeah.
And, but this had a soft plastic top to it. So it was my intent to wash the car, and every time I got enough pressure going, it blew the top off. Well, the car never did get washed, but I got soaked at least 3 times attempting it, and finally I gave up.
That's funny.
So, you know, it's just one of those things. So,
And you never got it to work.
No, it worked all right. In fact, if you want to take an impromptu shower, it worked every time. But
I wonder how many of those things, the little fad items, are on garage shelves all over the world.
Well,
that never ever worked.
Agreed.
Remember the Vegematic?
Oh, indeed I do.
Remember the guy on television with the Vegematic? Could chop anything.
Yeah.
Try that in real life.
That's right.
Yeah, his is bolted down.
Yep. Well, look, old friend, it's good talking to you. Carry on and have a real great day now.
You keep hollering, my man. We love it.
Righto.
Take care.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Waiting to hear from you, 1-800-572-8255. And we're going to do this. We're going to thousands of requests. If we don't do this about once a week, they start coming out of the woodwork. Here it is. Opal, You Ask Me.
Miss Frank, did the man give you the divorce papers? Opal, you can call me anything you want to. You always have. You know, you cussed me ever since we've been married and called me every name in the book. And you know that I've never raised my voice to you, and I'm not going to today. No, I'm not going to get mad at you. I just can't live with you anymore. You know, I never would have married you, Opal, but Daddy never would let us go with any girls. I married the first girl I met. That was you. Now, simmer down a little. Believe me, I did what I had to do. Don't make me go into it. You can have everything we've got. A house, a car, money in the bank, the muffler shop, sell it, do anything you want to do with it. Let's call it quits. We both made a mistake, and let's just drop it. Now, I'm getting a little tired of this abuse, Opal. I called you because I thought it was the thing to do. I just quietened down a little bit. Okay, Opal. Remember, you asked me. I'm going to tell you. I guess it all came to a head that night at open house over at the Coopers. I begged you to buy a new evening dress for that occasion, but no, you wouldn't do it. You had to wear that old faded formal that you wore to your last high school prom. I was so pretty in this dress, and all the boys wanted to dance with me, and they kept trying to get me to go outside. Oh, I got sick of hearing you tell that over and over. You know, the top of that dress kept falling down, and I kept pulling it up. You know, the years kind of take their toll on us, Opal. It wasn't as much indecent as it was sickening. No wonder it kept falling down. Not only was it a strapless gown, and at your age, but because you were half drunk when you put the dress on, you didn't put anything under it. And your hair. Women just don't wear waves and ringlets anymore. You ask me now, Opal. Well, then a couple of days later, when I was talking to that insurance man and you kept stumbling into the room there and interrupting, why, Opal, that man didn't want any more of your fudge. And another thing, did you ever notice how that when you walked through the house, you just kind of stomped? Yeah, you just stomped along. Oh, I used to hate to walk anywhere with you. And when you would drink out of a glass or a cup or whatever, you just kind of sucked it out and made that funny sound. Oh, it used to disgust me. I wanted to hit you right in the mouth. You ask me. Well, Opal, there are a lot of other things. And in fact, in the last 5 years, I don't think you've done anything that didn't either make me mad or sick. Well, I'm on my way to the remote part of Alaska. I'll be living in an igloo up there by myself, 200 miles from the nearest town. I'll be working for the government, and I'll be spotting aircraft that flies over. They say the yearly average is about 7. Once a year now, I'll go to Point Barrow and report at the relay station. Rest of the time, I'll be out there in that igloo by myself. And I'm looking forward to it. Last man that had the job went crazy and beat his head against the igloo till he died. That won't happen to me. I can take anything. Well, Opal, keep your old chin up. By the way, that's another thing, Opal. Did you ever notice when you talked that you kind of drew your chin back and your lips got tight and thin and your neck all wrinkled up? Oh, I ought to bust you every time you did that. I knew if I did, I wouldn't be able to stop. Well, again, I remind you, Opal, you asked me. Everything you did was wrong. You couldn't do anything right. And now maybe I'll finally have a little peace of mind. Good luck. Good luck.
Opal, you asked me. I keep hoping that somebody's going to make a motion picture out of that, because you can... 2 or 3 things in that just wear me out. Where he agrees to give her the muffler shop. What's she going to do with the muffler shop? That's it, where he says, all right, you asked me. She pushed him right over the edge. Opal, you asked me. That's by Tommy Collins. And if it's available anywhere, I don't know where it is. And I say that because we always get some calls. All right, listen, I want you to join my wife, Diane, and me for 2 fabulous weeks. Vacation of a lifetime. Listen to this. We're going to Germany, Austria.
How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, this is a full-time listener up here in Cleveland, Tennessee. I just had a little incident I'd like to share with you.
Okay, good.
And you know how things kind of get out of hand with children in church sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend of mine, he said they had a little incident happen in their church. This little fella kept misbehaving, about 5 or 6 years old, and his dad took him by the hand to lead him out of the church, and the last words he said is, "Saints, please pray." He knew he was fixing to get warmed up. And I thought that was so cute. And I'm a former Georgia boy, so I've listened to you on several different places, and I just never had an opportunity to call you. So the day I was home, I thought I'd give you a call.
Well, we thank you very much. You know, you mentioned that happening in church. Almost any parent out there has got at least one child's story that happened in church, because they will pick that point every time to embarrass you and to make you wish that you
that's for sure.
had never had any children.
Under the pew somewhere.
That's right. Listen, Ed, take care of yourself.
Dave, take care. A little good talk to you. We'll be calling you again.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's talk to Gary on the radio. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Lud, how you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. What's going on?
I was wondering if I'd be beholden to you if you'd give me your recipe for meatloaf.
You talking about the recipe in the book?
I don't know where it's the one in the book or not. I apologize. I don't have your book, but the one you serve at your restaurant.
Oh, you got to make it in 50-pound batches to get that. You know, I don't even know it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it certainly is good. I thought you might know it. I know you want me to go out and buy your book.
No, because it's a different meatloaf recipe in the book.
Really?
But I imagine when you're out there, if you'd ask Paul or somebody, I imagine they'd give it to you, because it's if it's a secret, I don't know about it.
Okay.
And good meatloaf should be shared with the world.
There you go. It's good.
Because there's a lot of bad meatloaf out there. Whew.
I know it. I make some that my wife likes, but I made it and she likes it real good. But then I get tired of it and I want to change something. She says, "You're all the time fooling with something, and change it. You're going to hurt." So just leave it like it is. It's good. But I always want to experiment.
A lot of great meatloaf recipes, and but it's always been, that's the reason I was so pleased with that recipe out there. It's always been my experience that there's several things that you never, ever order in a strange restaurant. And meatloaf is one of them. I would never, ever order meatloaf in a restaurant that I didn't know about. Because some folks consider, hamburger meat with a little ketchup splashed on it
There you go.
to be meatloaf.
And you don't even know what kind of meat it is.
No, or what kind of ketchup it was. So there's a bunch of things that I never order chicken livers. Yeah, thank you. I never ordered chicken livers in a restaurant I don't know about. Because chicken livers are something else. Almost as big a diversity as barbecue.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with you, but I like barbecue pork. See, I don't like barbecue beef.
Of course not.
That's not barbecue beef. But, that's the same way with ribs. I don't like beef ribs. I like pork ribs.
Went to a place the other. People sometimes can think they're doing you a favor, and trying to be good hosts. Went to a place the other day, a new barbecue place. First time I tried it, and ordered to go 2 sliced pork sandwiches. And these folks slice the pork real thick, and you cannot do that.
I know it.
You cannot do that. They thought they were being nice and thought they were. It's like slicing country ham too thick. You can't do it. Country ham ought to be sliced thin.
Well, I love to cook. I cook a lot around here.
Well, everything I'm telling you already know then, don't you?
A lot of it. No, I'm sure you're more informative than I am.
Well, listen, when you get a chance, go to the library and check out that book and try the meatloaf in that book. It's good stuff.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Some things you just don't order out, ever. I mean, a hamburger's a hamburger. But when you get into the meatloaf realm, everybody's got a different idea of what that is. And I'm not saying you're going to get poisoned, but I'm saying that you're going to get a lot of bad meals. Let me tell you where you always get a straight shot. Listen, J&R Clothing. These folks, if you're from outside of Atlanta, when you come in, you need to see this place. This is kind of the place to go. Down close to the airport, so if you fly in, you're going to like this. It's on Georgia Highway 85 in Riverdale, J&R Clothing. These folks got the winners together. Let's make the most of it. 1-800-572-8255. Here she is, one of my favorite ladies, the fabulous Roxanne. Hello, Roxanne.
Good morning, dear. I know this may be the end of a beautiful friendship, but I have to do it.
Tell me.
I've been listening to you for years talking about barbecue, and I have never joined in the conversation. And I finally think it's time for me to come out of the closet.
Good.
Now, I like pork barbecue very much, but I love beef.
I like beef, too.
I really do.
Yeah.
Now, people think that beef isn't really, that's not real barbecue.
Yeah, that's what...
Where do they think barbecue started? It started in the West. Those cowboys weren't herding pigs.
Roxanne?
Ludlow?
Roxanne.
Ludlow.
Roxanne, you know how much I love you. Cows are wonderful. If you want to have a steak, if you want to make a cowboy picture, or put on a rodeo.
Now, yeah.
But if you want to have barbecue, and I'm talking about for show barbecue, you got to get yourself man's best friend, the noble swine.
Oh, I'm not saying they're not noble. I think they're wonderful. I think they're delicious. I agree. Not one part of it I don't like.
Those cowboys.
But I love that beef barbecue.
You know why cowboys start off eating cows?
Okay, tell me.
That's all they had.
They didn't have no pig, right?
They couldn't have a pig, and you can't eat cactus.
They didn't have no pig meat.
Yeah. And I mean, nice people out there. Don't know nothing about eating. Nothing about eating. And besides,
Do you like beef barbecue?
Okay. I just don't regard it as barbecue. I regard it as some kind of pagan thing.
You got to do a book on. You got to do something on barbecue. You got to do a book on barbecue.
I've mentioned barbecue in every book I've written.
But I mean a whole book on barbecue.
A whole book on barbecue.
A whole book on barbecue. Telling about how the cowboys coming up on their cattle drives, how they used to barbecue that beef, and just it must have been something.
That's all they had. Ate an Indian if they could have caught one.
Oh boy, I can't win for losing.
Yeah, the Indians discovered barbecue during the forest fire one.
Okay. I'll see you.
Everything all right in your life?
Yeah.
You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Roxanne, a lot of folks will eat beef barbecue. I don't even think y'all be allowed to sell it. And I think if you do eat it, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. Let's talk to Edward in Cleveland, Tennessee. Good morning, Edward. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I heard you talking about meatloaf, and I thought it made me think about the good meatloaf I got in New Orleans next to Pat O'Brien's at the Coffee Cup. That was real delicious, but I like to go out to the Cracker Barrel here in Cleveland, and they have meatloaf every Tuesday, and it is delicious. Just want to take you out there sometime, let you try that meatloaf.
I love it. We're supposed to be in Cleveland sometime in July, maybe the 4th of July weekend, and we just might take you up on that. But I've had Cracker Barrel meatloaf. I can go into Cracker Barrel and almost kill myself on their breakfast. When I travel, I think that... for some reason, I think that I suddenly ought to have breakfast every morning when I travel.
Oh, yes.
And it ought to be a great big sawmiller's breakfast.
Oh, they have good breakfast, too. But then you start talking about barbecue. I mean, I'm really getting hungry. I'm ready to go now.
Well, now, you can't buy barbecue at a Cracker Barrel because under the guidelines that I have set out...
Yes, sir.
You never buy barbecue where they serve anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's good guidelines.
So, yeah, I will... there are about 10 guidelines, and you would recognize them all, because you sound like to me like a son of these red clay hills, so you'll recognize them all.
Yeah.
And you gotta have a sign on the wall that says "Repent or burn in hell."
Is that right?
Got to have a bathroom.
Amen.
That's unfit for human habitation, and stays broke down at least 3 days a week. Got to have 2 waitresses, one named Hester and one named Roxy. Got to have an old boy who is a cashier that has a kitchen match out of the corner of his mouth. If it's an urban place, you can substitute a toothpick for the match.
Well, I think you've got it all down pat.
Yeah.
What we have to have when we go to those places.
Certain amount of tradition involved in barbecue eating, and the first thing you realize is that you don't serve anything else. And people that don't like it can go someplace else and eat it.
And what do you like to drink along with that barbecue?
I'm pretty much a soft drink man with barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I know a lot of folks think they cannot have barbecue without a good beer, and that's fine. Because I'm the same way about chili. Something about chili wants me to drink beer.
Well, what you need when you eat that chili, you need some good hot tamales to go with it. When you put that together, call it a full house.
I see. Yeah. Call it a full house and stay close to your local hospital. Well, we're going to be up there, and we'll probably run a survey sometime in July on the barbecue joints in and around Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, try Jordan's, too, when you come for barbecue.
Pretty good queue, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We will pop in, I promise.
Okay.
You take care of yourself. Glad you called, Edward.
Nice talking with you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
We need to get out of here and make room for all the news from your local station. I want to remind you that we'll be right back with you in the morning at 9 o'clock and hope you'll be with us. And in the meantime, won't you do me a favor? Whatever else you do today, you find somebody to be nice to.
Wyoming will be your new home. Your mother was raised away down in Texas where the Jimson weed and the sandbirds grow. We'll fill you up on prickly pear cholla till you are ready for Idaho. Whoopie-tie.